Today's workout is going to consist of a Tabata protocol in a circuit format. What's going to happen is we're going to do a series of 6 exercises, 8 rounds, and we're going to have 30-second intervals with a 10-second transition point. Alright, our first exercise is going to consist of a kettlebell exercise called a figure 8 to a ball press. We're going to do 30 seconds of that. We're going to take a 10-second break to transition to alternating jump lunges. Then what we'll do is progressively go to club bell, clean and press with a flag press portion rather than a torch. Then we'll move to spread eagle push-ups, kettlebell snatches, and then finally we'll finish off with alternating single kettlebell rows. We're going to cycle through 1 through 6, 4 times, in terms of a total of 4 8-rounders for 24 exercise movements or intervals, and then we're going to take a 45-second break. Subsequent to that, we will continue with our balance of our workout of 4 cycles through 24 exercises to finish off the Tabata protocol. We're going to start off with a 3-minute skip to warm up. Then we're going to do a series of 10 curl-ups, 10 T-twists, 10 bird dogs, 10 mountain climbers, and then Brazilian crunches to activate and mobilize the core and get everything kind of in place and ready to go. Is there any questions? First exercise, today's workout, is going to consist of a figure 8 kettlebell exercise, a figure 8 to a ball press. The process basically, or the motion that occurs, is a figure 8 exchange from right hand to left, left hand to right, and then with the figure 8 what we do is we complement it by bringing it through to the left, bringing it up to a stall position, hooking the thumb in, and pressing straight up overhead, making sure and assuring that the elbow is driving right straight and below the ball of the kettlebell to assure that the shoulder is safe and in a packed position. I will demonstrate once. If you have any questions, we can revisit it at that point. Back is nice and straight. As we bend at the hips, we keep the back nice and neutral. Crown to coccyx is aligned in a straight line. We grab the bell, and I like to actually grab it vertically because the exchange is so much more clean and crisp. And we start by a squatting motion rather than a bending from the hips. It's not like a kettlebell swing or a snatch or that type of exercise. We drop down, squat exchange, pull it up into a stall, press it, back down again, up, around, again pressing straight up under the mass, re-delivering it back to the hand that delivered it, pulling it through, and alternating hands and pressing above. All right? Any questions? The alternating jump lunge, number 2, is quite straightforward in the sense that what we're really doing is performing a reverse lunge, but what we're doing is marrying that into a plyometric move or an explosive move through the hips, driving up and switching to do an alternate leg in the same position in a reverse lunge. So the movement occurs like this. Back is light and straight, posture neutral, down, making sure that the foot is far enough extended that you're not extending out beyond the ball of foot and compromising the integrity and mechanics of the knee and keeping it safe. We drive up and drop. You can use the upward motion of your arms to give you a little bit more altitude in terms of the jump. Up and through, up and through, up and through. All right? Any questions? Now we're going to move on to exercise number 3. Number 3 is an Indian club or a club bell exercise. It utilizes 2 clubs, and what you're going to do is you're going to park them on the ground, floor park them in front. Feet are approximately shoulder width apart. You're going to grab the bells and always keep them in this park position. They're safer, you take care of the equipment, and they're not going to get in the way and cause any type of stumbling or anybody to hurt themselves. What we want to do is address the bells, the clubs, in this fashion, with both wrists basically facing each other. What we're going to do is drive as if we would with a kettlebell or a barbell, drive up with the legs and snap the hips forward, and at the same time we're going to pull the bells out in front of us, drop into an order position, set, a quick flag press, back into position, and back down again. that will be the whole exercise in terms of repeating it through. Ready? What we'll do is you pull, clean, press out, back down again. Back always stays nice and straight, neutral, up, press out, back down again. Questions? Great. Our fourth exercise is the spread eagle push-up. Essentially what it is it's from a position, arms wide, legs wide, almost like your spread eagle in terms of maybe a skydiver, or basically spread eagle as in a police officer frisking you, I guess would be a good way, even though I've never been in that position. And you spread your arms, legs are about shoulder height, arms are about shoulder height, legs are nice and wide as can be in terms of that position. And then what you're doing is engaging the core, keeping yourself in a plank position, and you're doing a push-up, which is down, just to ground, back up again. Eyes up, looking about 4 to 6 feet in front of you, down, back up, always maintaining the plank. All right? That is the spread eagle push-up. Our last two exercises are kettlebell movements. Our first one of the two is going to be the snatch, exercise number 5. As is always the case with the kettlebell, and when we discuss it with the figure 8 to a ball press, feet are just outside of shoulder width apart, back is nice and straight, crown to coccyx to the line, natural curve of the spine is maintained. We flex at the hips until we can no longer maintain that spinal integrity, and then we squat down with the legs, grabbing the bell by the corner of the handle or the horn. And what we do is we accelerate the bell and pull it towards the ceiling as if you're pulling on a cord for a lawnmower to start. That's how accelerated it is. As you pull, you punch to the ceiling. Arm is extended straight, bell is rested comfortably on the forearm, and back down again. All right, I'll repeat that with the other side. Bending at the hips, squatting down, grabbing the corner of the handle, the horn of the bell, and pulling. And as it goes by your head, you're accelerating and rotating the hand around the bell to come to rest in an upright position. Shoulders down and packed. Good strong extension, arms nice and straight. The last exercise of our Tabata circuit today is going to be alternating kettlebell, single kettlebell rows, where we're basically pulling up to mid-chest, pretty well right to the sternum, and switching hands back and forth. One of the things, again, that we have to pay attention to is always the case with the kettlebell, bending at the hips, keeping the back nice and straight, down and through, grabbing. Again, I always grab vertically. It gives me, it basically is a lot more natural position for the hands and the shoulders to maintain their pack and their position in the shoulder socket. And what we do is we pull up and through. As we accelerate up, we are accelerating and focusing on the movement being clean, not pitching through the shoulder, but literally pulling with the latissimus muscle, the posterior delt, the bicep, and we pull up, and as it suspends, basically for a split second, it actually waits and stalls at weightless at just around chest height. And what we do is decelerate it and start all over again. Again, eyes are up, shoulders are packed, back is nice and straight, and we even use the legs to some degree for some of the absorptive qualities as we get to a point where we're getting a little bit more challenged with it. Most important thing with the rows and with any of the exercises that we're going to do today, emphasis is on, as you become more fatigued and challenged through the workout, if you're going to lose quality of technique, make sure you stop, realign, reposition, and start again, rather than barreling on through. Because as you get on in the workout, you're going to experience more fatigue, more challenges to your technique, and that's when things can go wrong. Be very careful and be a stickler for detail. Okay, and that's going to be it. So what I'll do is I'm going to open the doors, get some natural daylight in here, we'll turn the lights off. It's a beautiful day outside, and we'll get started. Nice work. Switching. Your best, Jimmy. Good work. Switching. Switching.